say can Taliban #1. Hey, trigger man. We gonna sit up. We gonna sit up. I sit up. Come on, let's go, I sit up. Nobody want go gaga. They make a bring it.
And I started asking questions until someday somebody just walked up to me. This person had never spoken to me before. It was in secondary school, never spoken to me. Just handed me an old newspaper as far back as 1984. And it was a foreign newspaper. And I just, why are you giving me this? I looked at it. It was about a transgender person who had gone through gender reassignment surgery. And I asked him, why are you giving me this? He said, you will need it at the right time.
Wow.
And he just
left it.
So it didn't make any meaning. But when the persecution, the tribulation started coming, initially when I saw it, I thought it was fabricated, I thought it was fake. That newspaper was fake. The things started coming so strong. So let me find out who I was. My voice wasn't getting deep.
It was getting softer?
Yes, I could take, and I can still take on high pitches, Then my body was going through that feminizing process. But my mind was saying, look, you're a woman, you feel like a woman, but what was in between my legs is what the society calls a man, And I started asking questions. By myself. I withdrew. I began to withdraw. I lost friends, and the word came out, transgender. I went to do some series of tests. It showed internal gonads. There were lots of men who were masculine presenting. I'm using the word masculine presenting for a reason, who were hitting on me as a then. And when I don't give them face, they now turn the back and say, oh, homosexual, fag, call me, just because I wasn't
giving them the face.
Yes. So they used the fact that somehow I was feminine presenting to scapegoat me in order to cover their
own plot.
Their own. They were in the closet, their own homosexuality. So I started finding myself. Then when I realized that I was intersex through those series of tests, I'm like, wow, is it possible? Is it really possible? Now the doctors, they were trying to push to me that the intersex person, it must not be hormonal, they were just pushing. I said, there is something I am seeing. And as I then, a lot of Nigerian doctors were not, there were some very few that were light, but a lot of them were not open-minded to take on that topic. Even when some of them went out of the country and, So after some time, I decided to, be happy. Just try. Yes, it wasn't easy. Just try and be happy. And the best way to do it was to be happy with myself. Just withdraw. I didn't have friends. I lost lots of friends. The people that I thought were friends while I was in school were the ones that really dealt with me. For instance, I remember when I was in school, there was this friend of mine, a married lady, and then she had a daughter. Both of us would walk on the road, and then you see men would be the one that were like, wow, looking at me. And
not her.
I mean, the innocence, I was, no. Until one day something happened, we were about to I was going through one of those phases. Now, I didn't know that phase was ovulation. I didn't know that I was always going through it while I was growing up, but I never knew until while I entered into my university, and I was going through a series of tests before the doctor now spelled it out from that you are going through ovulation. And I started asking questions, ovulation, but I don't see blood, and they say, yes, it happens. And it might cause cancer. Yes, but I didn't, till date, I'm not saying that. I said, well, it's my body. And that's where I'm always advocating for body autonomy, of the intersex person, of whoever you are,
What do you mean by that? You understand yourself. That's what
so, you see, you have got two gonads and they're probably ovaries and they are going to cause cancer because it doesn't have a place to dispel the stuff. You're going through ovulation and this. And I said, nope, I am proud of myself, and I started defending myself. The thoughts of it that I was intersex got me excited.
At least you understood what the matter was.
Yes, I understood what the matter was. But for a doctor to tell me what he felt was right for me,
when it's not you?
Yes, when it's not you, was taking away my freedom of choice. Within now and the next 2 years, you're going to have cancer. Within the next 3 years, you're going to have cancer. But as at then, I'm talking about when I was 25. And I'm still living. There's
no cancer.
Yes. So I started knowing myself. Now back to that story. So one of those days, while we're about to take our pictures, men, should stay one side and take pictures. By then, I was not living my truth in the school, but I was androgynous in the sense that, fluid. I could wear, my clothes were androgynous in nature, so it was fitting, yet masculine, yet feminine, yet having this touch of mixture. So the guys stay here and take pictures. Of course, I did not want to stay there. Girls stay here and take, oh my goodness. That particular person that I thought was my best friend. Will you get out from me? Get out. Will you get out from here? And she started screaming. Look, I don't even know whether you're a boy or a girl. What is this it coming to stay around? I was screaming and lashing out.
Boxed up aggression.
And then these people were now scolding her. And like, is this not your friend? Come on, you should allow. And no. Okay, all the guys now said, okay, in that case, let's all come together. That is the bottom to make me feel welcomed. And they said, no, we must have it male and female and this and that and that. So they did theirs, they did this, and I took my own alone.
Wow. So this looks like one of the biggest persecution that touched your heart. Yes.
And then somehow one of the boys now said I should go meet the HOD. Now the HOD was very, very progressive. Professor Iyaboma Abawunku from UI. I will not forget her. And I told her, when I entered into her office, I told her, and she didn't even look at me. She just said, who is the person that discriminated against you? I told her. I went and called the person who was my then friend, and the person now came thinking that, yes, since we're in a society that is patriarchal and misogynistic and all that hate, and she was just trying to, she now warned her. That's never, ever try that nonsense. You should be thinking of how to be a better version of yourself than to discriminate against somebody. Besides, what is the person's lifestyle got to do with your bank account? She spoke from a very intelligent point of view, and from that moment on,
you relaxed.
Yes, I relaxed.
What about the home? What kind of home did you get? Did you get the persecution?
So I came from a religious background. It wasn't easy initially because I can understand their pain that probably they were facing their own persecution from outside. That's your homo child, that's your this child, and probably they were not emotionally strong as at then, but not now.
Okay.
But not now. So right now we are on the same page.
Thank God.
They understand the fact that somehow this is my child. And there was a misconception then in the past.
They couldn't understand
They didn't understand the intersex. They didn't even understand the trans issues. Why am I transgender? Why do I still call myself transgender? Because of the fact that somehow along the line I grew up as a man. I grew up as a male, And nobody would believe this now. Yes. And then along the line finding who I was and now say, okay, this is who I am, makes it trans. That I'm moving from point A to point B.
And then you have excelled in all your academic things.
Yes.
You have excelled at work.
At work, yes.
Yeah. So you look like a role model now for all intersex people in Nigeria. What are you doing for them, or what will you tell them? People who are intersex and parents who have intersex children. Because I know, I read somewhere that about 2,000, out of about 2,000 births, 1 or 2 may be intersex. Have a word for them?
It's not easy being a society like ours that is that believes in the gender binary, male, female. That's one more thing. We don't have the power to take a life. I would say that that child is first and foremost a human
being.
And as a human, that child is entitled to every right. That child has not committed a crime for being born. Someone once told me that, Ella, your parents made a mistake. They should have aborted you.
It's one of the worst statements you may have had.
Yeah, but when I look at where I am now and where that person is, I'm now telling the person, probably the person is watching, saying, if they had aborted me, I don't think I'll be here. And I don't think you will be watching me and learning from me.
That's nice. That's the best word for them. If you're just tuning in, we're coming to the end of the program at this time. People, events, and places with your man about town, Ferry Wenjara. My guest has been Mix, Emmanuella David-ette, the face, the better face, the most popular face of the intersex community in Nigeria. When I say that, how do you feel? The popular face of intersex.
So I'm this kind of person that even at my place of work, I don't like people calling me ED. Just call me Ella. Just Ella.
And your place of work is Dynamic Initiative for
Healthcare.
For healthcare and human rights.
Physical Taliban #1. Hey, trigger man. We gonna sit up. We gonna sit up. I sit up. Somebody let's go nice sit up. Nobody want go gaga. They make a bring the dagger. Maybe make a food a trigger. No, make a nice sit up. Because of you over back me up. Go tell somebody by your left. Tell them say you don't welly. Go tell somebody by your right. Tell them say you don't say. Look into my eyes and see the fire. Say me don't come to fulfill my desire. Look into my eyes and see the fire. Say me don't come to fulfill my desire. The wedding where we go. DJ and Jimmy Jati yo. Everybody just take collabo. Jehovah push me up. Take him on